Coming in third place on my voting poll and the last movie I'm going to be taking a look at for Animation Explosion in general this year, it's Shrek. Yes, in the times before the series became a joke to memes and trends alike, seriously, it's stupid. Shrek was one of the biggest things to come out in animation history. The franchise kickstarted a new direction for DreamWorks to take, and unfortunately, a trend for other studios to try and replicate. It had all the tools most animation studios use for films today. Adult humor, pointless comic reliefs, dance party endings, but here's the question. Is there a reason Shrek caused this trend in the first place? Shrek is an ogre who lives in a swamp all by himself, enjoying the independence and being gross while scaring off anyone who comes into his land. But one night, a group of fairy tale creatures have showed up on Shrek's swamp because a ruler known as Lord Farquaad wants them off his property. Shrek goes to complain about it, and the two make a deal. Farquaad wants to marry a princess known as Fiona so he can become king, so if Shrek can get her for him, he'll get rid of all the fairy tale creatures from his land. Shrek is accompanied by a donkey, literally named Donkey, and goes to get the princess. So it's important to know that at its core, Shrek is a movie that basically says fuck you to Disney. It takes all the cliches that Disney's been known for, especially since it's coming off the Renaissance era, and does the complete opposite in all those areas. Whenever the movie feels as though it's going to go in the Disney formula, it completely shits on itself. And I feel that's what gives Shrek such a unique identity. It's not an adult movie, but it's a huge risk taker. Practically everything Shrek sets out to do works brilliantly in its favor, and it can feel like a breath of fresh air for those who want something different than the Disney formula, which was even replicated a lot during the 90s. But I don't feel that's all what makes Shrek stand out. The writing and character help it out a lot. The adult jokes and innuendos never come across as forced and flow naturally throughout the movie, and given the style the movie sets, that helps in applying the adult jokes as well. Of course, that's not to say all the jokes work. There's a handful that come off as unnecessary or just plain stupid, but that doesn't happen very often. I love this movie's art style. Every character looks distinct and recognizable, the backgrounds go for a more realistic setting, and there's not a single ounce of stiff movement or sloppy work done to it at all. For 2001, the humans look damn impressive, since humans done in Pixar movies tend to look more plastic and stiff compared to this. None of the characters act fluffy-duffy. They don't hesitate to drop a few jabs and inappropriate behavior, but to me, it never got to a point where it was annoying. Shrek may seem like a nasty ogre who hates everyone, but you get to see the soft side in his character. He hates being rejected by practically everyone and just wants someone to appreciate him not for his appearance but for his personality. There's a reason the comic relief trope's been replicated so much, because Donkey was the birth child of that trope. He may seem like a pointless character who doesn't serve much to the story, but A, he's actually funny, B, he actually helps Shrek in his quest, and C, he actually has input in the story where he learns a secret behind Fiona's curse. And it helps that he never annoys me either. Eddie Murphy pulls off an outstanding performance. The rest of the characters do a serviceable job to the story. Fiona's a nice enough princess who won't hesitate to get real buff and badass whenever something doesn't go her way. And while Farquaad may not be one of the better animated villains, he still provides plenty of funny enough moments and is a crux between Shrek and Fiona's bond. Actually, speaking of which, I think it's time to address what everybody's complained about most with this movie. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it. Go to this time mark if you want to skip it. Fiona has a curse where she turns into an ogre at night. Donkey talks to her about it, and she thinks of her form as a hideous beast. But when Shrek eavesdrops, he thinks she's talking about him. This leads to a big misunderstanding between the two, and yeah, I agree with everybody said. It drags the movie with unnecessary drama that could have been done a lot better or removed completely. For a movie that loves to poke fun at Disney cliches, it doesn't realize it's using other cliches that bring it down. That being said, the movie does have a brilliant message on the true love formula, as you don't need to look beautiful in order to be a beautiful princess in general. I also feel that the movie can get very slow at certain points. There's a huge number of scenes that just focus on the characters talking and cracking jokes. While I appreciate it for growing the relationship between them, I feel they go on for far too long. There's really only a few scenes that come across as exciting and adventurous, such as the dragon fight scene, the Robin Hood fight, or even the final fight against Farquaad. I don't mind when movies take a slower pace, but I feel Shrek could have done it a lot better. Other than those flaws, I'd have to say that Shrek is pretty great. I wouldn't say it's outright amazing or a masterpiece like some people say it is. I personally think Shrek 2 is a far better movie, but I do see why Shrek's become a cult classic. It tried something different and it stood out as a result. While I wish studios would stop trying to be like Shrek, we can't forget why Shrek became such a hit to begin with. Despite being the fuck you to Disney, it had its own strengths to make it a great film to watch. While it's hard to say if it's for everyone or not, I recommend checking it out. And that is basically it for Animation Explosion in general for 2019. Thanks to everybody who voted on what movies they wanted me to review this month, and thanks for watching up to this point. I look forward to returning to the main Animation Explosion videos in March 2020, when I take a look at all the animated movies that came out this year, and by popular demand will certainly return as well in May 2020. Until then though, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting, and keep on playing.